Hello, I'm Glitch PhD, and this is my submission for the 80% category for Spider-Man the movie. We'll be playing on Easy Mode, which is the fastest mode as enemies take fewer hits and you can shoot more web without having to refill as often. In the first mission, Search for Justice, you learn that Uncle Ben was murdered, and now you have to go hunt down the killer. We start off by double jumping and using increased web swing momentum by simply holding down the swing button to get to the first building faster. Then from there we use a combination of web yanking, impact webbing, and combo punches to defeat the thugs as fast as possible. There's a death barrier in the streets below, and that allows us to web yank the thugs off the building and have them die once they hit that barrier, rather than having to use combo punches or impact webbing. Web yanking is good for some thugs, however for others it's faster to impact web as you pass them. Once we finish this section, we can skip a cutscene which basically tells us that there is a warehouse in the city, which in this case isn't too far away. From here I mainly hold down the swing button for increased web momentum, then perform a double jump using the momentum I had built up to land into the end goal. After this, we skip another cutscene and progress to the next mission. I should mention that the loading screens do take a few seconds, with some being a bit faster than others. For the GameCube, this is normal. For this next mission, we are tasked with searching the warehouse for Uncle Ben's killer. Using a handy move known as web zipping, we can get to certain areas faster by quickly zipping to a wall to attach onto. Here I will be performing a clip, which is used only one other time in the run. For this clip to work, we need to web yank this thug past us, tie him up with webbing so that we can cancel his getting up animation and so he doesn't attack us, and push him through the door. Since the thug is on the other side of the door, we can get on his head by double tapping the jump button, and grab onto his head, phasing through the door completely. Using this clip also skips a cutscene that progresses the level as intended, normally relocating a thug who stole a fuse from a control panel. However, this thug remains in the same room, allowing us to easily beat him up. I use the web gloves on this thug so that I can take him down before he tries to escape to the room he's supposed to be in. Once I defeat him, I can put the fuse back in the control panel and make use of a wall misalignment by web zipping through the corner of this wall to get back out into the main area, instead of having to travel through the vents again. A set of 4 thugs spawn in the final room. I web up one of them so I can take the other 3 down, then finish off the final one. After this, 3 more come out from a garage door, and finally, a door opens with a loading zone, which is the end goal of the mission. For this mission, we start off by performing a series of web zips through these vents. We will get to this large room, where we have to try not to be seen by any of the thugs. If we are stealthy enough, we can get to the end of the room and open the door to the smaller room, which will have a combo power-up, the Advanced Web Dome. If we didn't make it through the room unseen, we will have been spotted and forced to get the power-up in a later mission, which loses time, as having the power-up will benefit us in the next mission. There is this big room with a bunch of thugs, but we only have to defeat 4. The 2 on the left, and then these 2 guards specifically. If we defeat one, and as he is dying, defeat the other one, the one we previously defeated will spawn the key. Otherwise, the 4th thug will spawn the key, losing a tiny bit of time. From here we make our way up through the building to a room, which contains the killer we've been trying to find. The fight is generally easy and quick, although we can give you a bit of a hard time. His movement and attack patterns are random, although most of the time we can get him down within 10 to 20 seconds. Now that we have defeated the killer and avenged Uncle Ben's death, we will go about our daily duties as Spider-Man. For the 4th mission, Oscorp's Gambit, we'll start off taking photos of Spidey for J. Jonah Jameson. The game will instruct us with what to do, both through text and Tobey Maguire's voice acting. Once we're done, we can head for the end goal. However, once that happens, we will be greeted by a robot seeking to destroy us. These robots only take one hit of impact web to be destroyed. After we defeat the first one, 2 more will spawn. Once we defeat those, we can crawl on this wall in a circle, and in doing so, the next set of 4 robots will spawn right near us. Using the advanced web dome, we can defeat these in one explosion. Sometimes if you're not on the wall soon enough, 1 or 2 of the robots might spawn in the air, losing a bit of time. After this set, the final 6 will spawn, to which we can once again use advanced web dome, and if necessary, impact webbing to fend off the remaining bots, finishing the mission. This next mission goes off to a different storyline from that of the original movie. The villain Shocker is going through a subway terminal, trying to evade Spider-Man. The objectives in this mission are somewhat repetitive. From the start, we can attack the first group of thugs. The thugs after will normally spawn away from your field of view, so we try to face the camera away from the wall behind us, so that the other 2 groups can spawn closer to us. Our Spidey sense will alert us of civilians and police that are in need, so you basically just use web zipping to get there faster, and attack them with web gloves, which will only take 2 hits to KO instead of 3. After this, we are alerted once again of an officer in trouble, so once again, utilize web zipping to get there faster and combo punches with web gloves. We skip a cutscene where Shocker blows up a column after some comedic dialogue, and a civilian is in need of help due to said column. Once we heroically save the day, another group of 3 thugs will spawn after this, which once again we use combo punches with web gloves. Finally, we are alerted of 2 more police officers who are in need of help from thugs, so you utilize web zipping to get there and finish them off. Once again, we can have the camera facing away from the main area where the thugs are, so that the others after can spawn behind you, saving a bit more time. The next mission, Chase Through the Sewers, is a very skilled move-and-heavy mission, one of my personal favorites. There is an armored thug who takes quite a few more punches than normal thugs. Using web gloves, we can take him down faster, however you will only notice results faster if you punch him while he isn't up against the wall. Once you defeat him, you'll get a key to unlock the door. There's a hallway which we can zip through, leading us to a bigger room with another locked door. You have to hit levers to open the next door, which can be accomplished faster with normal web strands. From here, you maneuver through another hallway to a bigger room. One of Shocker's thugs turned on the water and broke the wheel to shut it off, so now we have to retrieve the wheel. Luckily, it's not that hard to find him, as you just web tie him from across the hall in the nearby room, then zip towards him and use combo punches with web gloves. Once you have the wheel, bring it back to the block and attach it. Now we just wait for the water pressure to go down to where it's safe enough to pass through. We need another power-up, the advanced web gloves, to make certain later missions easier, so you hit a lever in a room within the next room to unlock a secret door in the previous room containing the advanced web gloves. After more maneuvering through the sewers, we come to a large room, which we will be locked in. I will be performing another door clip here, this time using 2 thugs. Just as before, I'll be carefully pushing one thug into the door and double tapping A to climb onto his head. There is a lever in this room to unlock the final door, which we normally have to fight off a bunch of thugs in order to obtain the key. Now we can beat up that thug we pushed through the door, double tap A against the door, and the other thug should be right up against the door, allowing us to clip back out and finish the mission. Coming up in this level, we have another boss fight, this time with Shocker. But first, we have to web zip through the tunnels in a sort of chase sequence. If performed quickly enough, you can actually avoid taking damage from Shocker's blast, which he sends down the tunnel. From there, you can hit a lever to move a subway cart to progress through. Past the sewer hole, you'll come to find a door leading to Shocker. The fight is basically made up of aerial kicks, punching with advanced or regular web gloves, and impact webbing to try to take his health down. His actions are random, so sometimes he can hit you when you least expect it. If all goes well, you can take him down fairly quickly, or he can just annoy you by doing certain moves when you try to punch him. So now we will be heading to an old abandoned clock tower. The game instructs you to climb up the staircase going around inside the tower. After a bit, you'll catch up with Vulture, who will put up an obstacle for us to try to slow us down. Luckily, you can just web swing and double jump past it. It's sort of a maze from here, having to go through different passageways, all the while Tobey Maguire gives some hilarious dialogue. Once we get past the maze, there will be more staircases to go up. You can use some holes in the wall to your advantage to get up faster. At the top of the tower, another skippable cutscene will play, ending the mission. Vulture fled the clock tower, which brings us to a chase mission. We have to keep up with Vulture, but not get too far ahead or behind, otherwise the mission will be failed. There are a few combinations of paths that Vulture can take, all being RNG dependent. After some chasing, Vulture will shoot at a billboard, and if it collapses, will kill innocent civilians. We can web up the leg so that won't happen. Shortly after, he will shoot at a water tower. Once again, we can web up the leg so it won't fall down into the streets below. For this mission as well, you can cut through some buildings in such a way that you can get Vulture to move faster. You can utilize what is known as a web directional momentum conservation move, which is where you hold on the web modifier button, any direction, and the jump button. Doing this move will turn you in a completely different direction with the same built-up speed, allowing for a quick turn. There will be a bit of lag at the end of the level, however on GameCube this is normal. You might have noticed that I hit yes to save. This was a mistake, but luckily it doesn't lose too much time. We finally got Vulture trapped in the corner, so to speak, so we can fight him. The fight is pretty quick and easy. Upon starting, you just shoot impact webbing until the blue part of his health bar disappears. He'll land on the building, so we can just wait for him there with advanced web gloves and perform a punch combo to take down as much health as we can. After impact webbing once more, and one more good beatdown, Vulture will be finished. The next mission, Corralled, will take us to a parking lot, which is filled with robotic spiders. We will also come across Scorpion, and are tasked with helping him defeat the spiders before they kill him. The first 4 spiders will always spawn in the same place, to which you can just use Advanced Web Dome, providing you have it, followed by combo punches, kicks, and impact web. The remaining spiders will be scattered around the parking lot. It's basically random where they move, so we have to look all around to find and fight off the remaining 6. Going back to the third mission for a second, if you hadn't collected the Advanced Web Dome there, you can collect it here, in the spiral tunnel going to the top floor. Once you defeat all the spiders, a skippable cutscene will play, ending the mission. Since Scorpion was introduced to us as being crazy in the previous mission, he now thinks that Spidey is part of a gang wanting to take him down, so of course we have to fight him. Depending on if we are lucky enough, we can have a very quick fight, involving a few combo punches after applying advanced web gloves. If not, then we have to sort of improvise the fight. If you know how to manage knockback and attack him at the right time, you can still have a pretty decently fast fight. As you can see, my fight was pretty bad, which lost about 30 seconds compared to my PB. The other bosses are done, and the game is sort of getting back to the main storyline from the movie. In this first Goblin-based mission, Goblin kidnaps Mary Jane, Peter's girlfriend, and puts her on a Panafloat. When first starting, you can apply web gloves and punch the Green Goblin so that his health goes down a bunch. Then from there you can save Mary Jane by placing her onto a rooftop directly next to where the float is. Following this, Goblin will fly around a bit and then head for a tower. We can get there first, so that we can fix the building just as soon as Goblin shoots at its legs. Once finished, we can shoot a couple strands of web to get Goblin to move along faster. There will be another building that he will damage, but we can get there way before he does. This section of waiting might be a good time for a donation reading. Once fixed, Goblin will sort of give up after this and attempt to escape Spidey. We can finish him off with web strands until a skippable cutscene plays, thus ending the mission. This next mission is solely about fighting Goblin. We can start off by doing a number of aerial kicks, impact webs, and web strand shots to deplete the blue part of his health bar. Once that is done, he will head for a building where we can meet up with him. If you hit him with impact webbing at the right time while being relatively close, he will get stuck in our chain of web balls, so long as we continuously mash the web button while holding in the web modifier button. Goblin won't have too much health left afterwards, and likewise we won't have a whole lot of web left. But luckily there's a web power up in the window of the building we're currently in. During the second phase of the fight outside, you want to conserve your web as much as possible, so you can finish the fight properly. We can chain together the same moves as before in the first phase of the fight to take Goblin down. He will then proceed to another building to where we can finish him off. Once near the building, we can jump to cancel the web swinging, and when close enough, perform an aerial kick so we can set up a good web ball chain stun, thus finishing the fight. At the end of the previous mission, we were given a choice. Either prevent the city from blowing up from Goblin's bombs he placed all throughout, and let Goblin continue to wreak havoc, or stop him and let the city blow up. As Spider-Man, we will be going for both. This mission is about preventing the bombs from going off. They are all in fixed positions, meaning that there won't be anything slowing us down. You basically just go up to bombs and interact with them to stop them. Using a well thought of route, we can disarm the bombs quickly and efficiently. For whatever reason, in this mission only, the distance you cover from double jumping out of built up web swinging momentum is greater than normal, saving a bit more time getting to each of the bombs. There are spotlights and robots, which will try to stop us if we cross their paths. However, we never run into that problem, as the maneuvering is always the same. At the end, a skippable cutscene plays, and the mission is finished. Now that we stopped the bombs, we can fight Goblin again, although this time he won't actually fight us. Instead, he'll send his Razor Bats to attack us. This is where the Advanced Web Dome comes in handy. When we're on a building, we can use the Advanced Web Dome when the Razor Bats get close to us to wipe them all out. There are a few groups that will spawn at somewhat random times, yet we can clear them out pretty quickly. A good amount of the time, the third group doesn't initially come to us. Instead, we can go to them and kick them while web swinging to take them all down. From here, you only have to shoot a couple more with impact webbing, until Spidey gives up and tries to hide. There is an end goal in a building nearby where we can escape goblins for now. In the next mission, Breaking and Entering, we try to find out what Goblin is up to, seeing as how we discover that part of his glider broke off, which revealed that it was made by Oscorp. While sneaking around, we have to hack into computers to open a door to further explore what Oscorp is working on. If you get caught, the super soldiers will come out and shoot you down, so you have to try not to get caught. Even though it's a stealth mission, we can clutch it out while going fast, by merely web-zipping across the building to the other computers. Sometimes a guard might spot us, and even still most of the time we can evade the super soldiers based on their movement patterns and the route that we take. There is a chance that the level might have to be restarted, and even still, it wouldn't take that long to get back to where we were. Once you have acquired all the pieces from the computers, you can head to the back where a door with a keypad can be accessed, and using these pieces, we can unlock the door and finish the mission. Further exploring Oscorp, we find a huge lab floor, and are tasked with deactivating a nuclear bomb. This is another stealth mission, but we don't have to worry about getting caught this time, as you won't have to wait for something to finish without interruption. Likewise, you won't have to worry about health, as they won't be after you as much. There are 4 panels you have to hit, each with its own letter of the alphabet. They are located in small individual rooms. There is a locked door, so we can only finish the first 2 panels first. Once you have interacted with the A and B panels, you have to go to the main room which contains the bomb, and hit the console with the corresponding letters that you had just obtained. Once the door is unlocked, we can progress to the other 2 panels. Going for the D door first is faster, as that is locked, and we have to wait for Dr. Wu to come rushing over so we can steal a keycard from him. In the meantime, you can interact with panel C. Once he enters the hallway, you can shoot him with a web strand for a quick attack, and then use the keycard to unlock the door and interact with panel D. You can skip a cutscene, albeit skippable, altogether if you use your web strands on the panel inside. Doing it for all 4 can skip the cutscene entirely. Finally, we can go back to the main room and disarm the bomb. Once again, you can skip a cutscene by interacting with it from a distance, saving mere frames. It seems like Oscorp is getting into some pretty evil situations, as they have built a giant robot, probably capable of destroying the city, or part of it at least. So we have to stop it by hitting 10 transformers. We can hit the first 4 to the left all in a row. It only takes 1 impact web to destroy these. The robot will also try to shoot you with its plasma gun, but if we go fast enough, we won't get hit. The remaining transformers are on the robot itself. There will be robots trying to shoot you down, and sometimes they might, but you can recover from these pretty quickly. Once we finally take care of all the Transformers, we can then attack the robot's neck for one final blow, destroying it and finishing the mission. Oscorp now knows that we have been there, so the whole place is on high alert. We definitely don't have to worry about getting caught now, even though it's not like we were in the first place. If done quickly enough, we can bypass having to shut off the laser guns and laser walls in rooms on either side of the building by simply knocking out a window in the room to the right, shutting the panel off to unlock the door, and rush to the door, saving time and hopefully clutching it out on health. We can then make our way to a door, although we have to wait a bit for it to open. While waiting, you can perform a web yo-yo so that you can go through the crack of the door once it's open enough. You're greeted by a hall full of super soldiers, but they won't be any trouble as you can just web zip past them and finish the mission. Peter discovers that Goblin kidnapped Mary Jane, so being the good boyfriend he is, tracks Goblin down to save her. The way you go about this mission is a tad bit odd, as you can get ahead of Goblin, although you can't go too far, much like the Vulture Chase mission. If you stand or crawl in the building, however, Goblin can move a bit faster, so it's recommended to do that when he's far away from you. Also, interacting with the bombs he places mid-air can help to move him along a bit more, however you don't want to get hit too much as you can risk dying. Performing the web directional momentum conservation move can also help, as there are times where you might have to take a sharp turn. For the most part though, it's pretty much doing the same thing throughout the entirety of the mission, so there isn't much else that can help you. Eventually, Goblin will hit his last checkpoint in the level, with a skippable cutscene following, and thus ending the mission. Finally, we come to the last mission, Face Off at the Bridge. Goblin placed Mary Jane on a bridge, which he threw bombs at, inevitably burning her to death after some time. You don't actually have to save her though, as you can quickly defeat Goblin. By starting off with impact webbing, a few aerial kicks to web strands, you can quickly take down the blue part of his health bar, sending him down to the bridge. While en route to the bridge, you can shoot a few more web strands to knock down his health a bit more. Once on the bridge, just simply spamming impact webbing will take him down. Time ends once Goblin is defeated. And that was Spider-Man the movie. Thank you all for watching. I'm really hoping you'll consider this run for Awesome Games Done Quick 2019. For those who don't know what Games Done Quick is, it's a biannual charity marathon, with one taking place in the winter, Awesome Games Done Quick, or AGDQ for short, and one taking place in the summer, Summer Games Done Quick, or SGDQ for short. AGDQ will take place January 6th to the 13th, 2019 in Rockville, Maryland. The charity that all the proceeds will go towards is the Prevent Cancer Foundation. However, there is also another GDQ event taking place this year, known as Games Done Quick Express, or GDQX. It will take place from October 26th to the 28th, 2018, in San Jose, California. A link will be provided in the description to find out more. But thank you once again and hopefully I will see you at AGDQ 2019. Take care.
Too. Mary Jane, there's something I have to tell you.
I know, Tiger. You don't have to say.
Yeah, that's my life. Complicated. Looks like you're done now. Go outside and play.